a few hundred yards of sun-warmed sand, a tiny legend in steel, and a living time machine that still bites the wind at 152 miles per hour. Today we're diving into the century-old drama of the Sunbeam Tiger, aka Ladybird, the compact race car that rewrote what a beach and an engine could do together. But I'm not here to just recite facts, I'm here to think out loud with you about why this 1926 moment still comics with us in 2026, what it reveals about engineering, risk, and the speed-chasing impulse, and what the reenactment on Ainsdale Beach actually means for how we remember speed. Imagine standing on a shoreline in Southport, March 16, 1926. The ocean is there, the crowd is rippling, and Sir Henry Segrave is about to push a tiny, supercharged V12 goblet of a car toward the limit of what a regular circuit car could achieve on a flat stretch of sand. What makes this moment feel so electric isn't just the number, 152.33 miles per hour, that's atomic in its precision. It's that the machine itself is paradoxical, a small, seemingly fragile car, not the hulking, purpose-built land speed monsters we picture today, and yet it sits at the edge of what human bodies and machine parts can endure on a loose, unpredictable surface. Personally, I think that tension is what makes this story compelling. The idea that scale doesn't always win, and that clever engineering can punch above its weight, still resonates. Let's unpack the core idea first: a compact, supercharged V12 car, Sunbeam Tiger, Ladybird, delivering a world land speed record on a conventional circuit's notion of a beach course. What's surprising is not the speed alone but the contrast between the car's size and the audacious goal. In my opinion, this isn't just a horsepower contest, it's a physics demonstration wrapped in a dare. The car's engine was mighty for its size, and its design pushed the boundaries of what a small displacement could achieve when you cram a lot of pressure into a short, stout frame. From my perspective, the key takeaway is that engineering ingenuity, be it compression, charge, aerodynamics of the era, or tire technology, can defy expectations even when you don't have the giants of the factory to lean on. One thing that immediately stands out is the historical arc. Segrave's achievement wasn't a one-off stunt. It was a stepping stone. A year after this beach record, Segrave and Coatalen were at Daytona Beach with the Sunbeam 1000 horsepower, a machine that would push the speed envelope beyond 200 miles per hour. What this really suggests is a continuous ladder of innovation, incremental leaps that compound into a paradigm shift in what speed means in motorsport. It's a reminder that progress isn't a single burst but a disciplined series of small, difficult wins that pave the way for the next leap. What many people don't realize is that the beach setting wasn't just scenic, it was a real testing ground with different friction, wind, and surface variables compared to a paved track. The environment itself forced innovations that would eventually migrate into more controlled circuits and, eventually, production racing. From a broader perspective, the story doubles as a reflection on the relationship between risk, fame, and legacy in early motorsports. The speed records of the 1920s carried outsized public attention and, frankly, a culture that accepted significant danger as part of advancing technology. In my opinion, this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. The same appetite that fuels a record attempt also fuels a set of decisions about safety, engineering trade-offs, and the commercialization of innovation. If you take a step back and think about it, the Sunbeam Tiger era captures a moment when engineering bravado and mass media amplified each other, creating a mythos around speed that still echoes in how we market high-performance machines today. A detail I find fascinating is the dual identity of the car, Ladybird as the affectionate name, and Tiger as its later moniker, a reminder that vehicles were given personalities almost as if the machine's character mattered as much as its measured performance. What this really suggests is a human need to connect with machines on an emotional level, not just as tools. That bond between driver, car, and audience drives the storytelling around these records, which is why reenactments like the 100 Southport celebration event matter beyond the nostalgia. They're a way for modern audiences to experience a tactile thread to a century-old pursuit, to feel the texture of risk and the thrill of speed in a way that numbers alone can't deliver. Now, let's connect the dots to today's landscape of speed and spectacle. The fact that a century-old car is returning to the same stretch emphasizes how the core questions stay the same. How fast can we push a system? How do you balance power, grip, and surface reliability? How does the landscape, physically and culturally, shape what counts as a record? In today's terms, this is less about winning a race and more about curating an experiential arc that teaches, inspires, and invites critique. My take: these events function like living museums, where the past isn't fossilized but pushed forward by live demonstration, sparking conversations about design philosophy, safety evolution, and the ethics of risk in sport. What this story also hints at is how archival technology travels through time. The Sunbeam Tiger's lineage from a compact racer to a legendary, record-holding platform sits alongside the broader arc of automotive engineering: small, efficient, turbocharged approaches giving way to even more extreme configurations in later decades. If you zoom out, you see a trend where the boundary conditions shift, from beach runs and board tracks to high-speed circuits and precisely engineered test environments. The beach remains a symbol of raw, unfiltered testing, a reminder that the fastest car we know still has to contend with sand, wind, and human limits. That's a narrative worth carrying forward, because it reframes speed not as a single achievement but as a long-running dialogue between humans and machines. Before we wrap, a closing thought to take with you: speed, at its core, is a story about daring and discipline coexisting. The Sunbeam Tiger doesn't just show us a number, it shows a philosophy that progress often comes from stubbornly squeezing more out of the ordinary, not just building bigger and faster machines. So, what do you take away? Do you see the modern equivalent of this compact but powerful approach in today's hyper-efficient EVs or extreme lightweight racers? Or is there a nuance we're missing about how societies weigh risk against progress? Let me know in the comments. What era of speed do you think had the most influence on today's car design, and why? If you found this look at Ladybird's moment on Ainsdale Beach thought-provoking, consider subscribing for more think-out-loud explorations of how old milestones illuminate today's tech and culture. We'll chase more threads like this: the mechanics, the myths, and the human streak that keeps turning the ignition key on history. See you in the next deep dive, where we push the pace just a little further and ask the tougher questions together.